Congresswoman Chavez-DeRemer, welcome.
Thank you, Senator.
The Trump administration is flagrantly violating the bipartisan agreements in our appropriations law by refusing to spend money that Congress in a bipartisan manner has passed for the American people. I've been hearing about it in my home state of Washington. I heard from an organization in Edmonds about whether or not it'll now be able to provide support for our veterans who are seeking educational and employment opportunities as they transition to civilian life. I heard from a workforce training program that operates statewide about whether they'll now be able to continue to pair workers with employers in the grocery industry. You should know that the chaos surrounding these funding freezes is causing real damage to people's lives. So I want to know, will you commit to following appropriations laws and the Impoundment Control Act?
Yeah, thank you, Senator. I know we talked about this in your office as ranking member of Appropriations, and I do respect the Appropriations Committee. As a former member of Congress, I think everyone in this room who's ever sat behind that dais can understand that. Again, the President of the United States has the power to determine what he's going to do through his executive power. I am not been confirmed. I have not been read into all that.
I'm asking you, will you follow the law?
I will always follow the law and the Constitution.
There is an Impoundment Control Act. Will you follow that law?
I will follow the law and the Constitution.
If you receive a directive to violate appropriations laws and withhold funding for workers, what will you do?
I do not believe the President is going to ask me to break the law, 100%.
Well, we have seen that across the board since he was put into office, where he is violating that law. So you will likely be asked, what will you do?
Well, it's a hypothetical. I have not talked to the President on this issue, and I do not believe—
So you won't commit to following the law if the President tells you to violate it?
I will commit to following the law, and I do not believe the President would ever ask me to break the law.
Well, okay. Last week, Elon Musk's Doge team came to the Department of Labor and got access to the department's sensitive information system. Musk's companies have, as you must know, been repeatedly accused of violating labor laws, including workplace safety laws, discrimination laws, and wage and hour laws. In fact, OSHA has investigated Tesla and SpaceX. Now Elon can access those investigations about his companies because he's gone in and gotten those records. He can also access sensitive market-moving data created by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That gives him tremendous power to manipulate quarterly jobs numbers and other important economic data, to say nothing of raising potential insider trading concerns. Just to make this abundantly clear, Elon Musk is now in a position to use his unelected role to use confidential government data to advance his own corporate interests while suppressing his competitors. Do you believe it is appropriate for someone with such blatant conflicts of interest to have access to those confidential economic and personal information?
Thank you, Senator Murray. If I have the honor of being confirmed by this committee and the full Senate, then I will have the opportunity. I have not stepped foot into the Department of Labor. And I understand—
Well, my question to you is, will you protect the private information of people whose records you will be overseeing? Will you allow anyone, a billionaire or anyone else, to come in and access that?
Again, because I have not been confirmed. I only see the reports that everybody else has seen. I have not been read into that. If confirmed, I will— if confirmed—
You're not answering the question.
If confirmed, I will support the Department of Labor. I think it's important to support the Department of Labor, but I have not been—
Will you support the private information that you will be overseeing? Will you protect that?
I would protect the private information. On this issue, I have not been privy to those conversations with the President. I have seen that, and if confirmed, I commit to you that I will always protect the Department of Labor and those issues.
Well, let me ask you about child labor. It's an area that I've been very worried about, the rise of child labor violations. The Wage and Hour Division at the department has actually seen a 31% increase in minors employed in violation of child labor laws since 2019. In the last administration, the Wage and Hour Division at DOL and the solicitor's office worked really hard to secure some really important victories against some really egregious violators. How will you make sure that the Wage and Hour Division and the solicitor's office work together to enforce our child labor laws in this country?
Well, protecting child labor is abhorrent, and nobody should stand for child labor exploitation. I will do everything in my power within the Department of Labor to double down on the safety of all American workers that are exploited, but especially child labor. And I would love to work with your office on, if this is an important issue, it should be important to everybody, to making sure that we protect against any child labor exploitation.
Senator Husted.